our go-to summer pound cake that's filled with blackberries from our backyard. We are so happy that it's thriving and that Mia has just been loving picking at them every day, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. Today we're making a delicious blackberry limoncello cake that it has literally been our go-to since the blackberry bush has really started to thrive in our backyard. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen me make this. I made a reels of this a couple weeks ago. I made it last weekend. I made it this week. I made 2 yesterday because we had neighbors over, and I'm making it again today. We love it so much. It's filled with wonderful flavors. It's so simple and easy, and I'm gonna walk you through it. I mentioned that we have a beautiful blackberry bush in our backyard, and it is thriving like nobody's business. It always does really well every year, and it just provides us and blesses us with the most beautiful blackberries you've ever seen. Mia loves to pick at them every day. Somebody asked me on Instagram, do you have enough blackberries like weekly to make like muffins or something? And I'm like, I have enough fresh blackberries to pick every day, ripe ones, that I can make muffins, pies, jam, bread, you name it, because they're just so abundant and it's awesome. So if you've ever wanted to, have a blackberry bush, but you didn't know how it would do, here in New Jersey, it does great. So let's get started. I'm using a 9-inch loaf pan, oven preheating to 350. I'm gonna make this in a bowl with a handheld electric whisk, but you don't have to. I'm gonna start with sugar and butter. And I am going to cream them together until well combined. Get my mixer over here, just until well combined. I went ahead and added a couple of eggs, and I'm adding a good splash of vanilla. I mean, I use homemade vanilla extract, so there's a lot of vanilla beans in there, and it really makes such a big difference. So get the vanilla beans in there. It makes a world of a difference. So I'm gonna mix these in. That looks fantastic. I'm just gonna take my spatula and run it along the sides. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should if you don't, you've heard me say for over the past year, anytime I really talk about blackberries, that I'm just gonna grate the zest here of lemon. Blackberries are my favorite berries. I remember picking them with my nonna when I was little, and my aunt making tons of blackberry jam that will last us the whole year, and now I do that. So it feels really nostalgic and exciting, and it's one of my favorite things to do. It's become such a tradition for me and for Mia. Just like making tomatoes at the end of summer, it's just something that I grew up doing, and I am so thrilled to be able to share it with my girl. But those little traditions are really what carry us through as we grow. And I know for myself, I hold on to those moments way more than I care to admit. And throughout your life, throughout my life, they've been my saving grace. Those moments that have shaped us. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'm gonna add some limoncello. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup. Now this is crema di limoncello. You can see it's creamy. This is one I make every year. I use my aunt's recipe. I will do a talk through with you and we'll share it with you. It's just that it's a long process. It takes about 5 weeks, so it's hard for me to capture it here for a video. However, I'm gonna say it again, but if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I started to do a limoncello highlight, not limoncello, fragolino, which is same thing as limoncello, but using strawberries and using melon, and it's sort of the same process. So I will walk you through it there simply because I can do it day by day, and it's easier. So I'm just gonna combine these in. Now we're adding dry ingredients, and all I have in here is baking powder, salt, and flour. And along with that, we're gonna add some buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use whole milk. You can also just use milk and put a little bit of lemon in there. And if you don't wanna use limoncello, you can just use a squeeze of lemon in there and it would be great. Not exactly the same, but it would be good enough. And I'm just gonna whisk this up until it's well combined. That is what you're looking for, a really nice, thick, smooth batter. Now, I will say this, depending on the milk that you use, you're going to need different amounts. So with buttermilk, and I just used the Friendship brand, it takes a good 3/4 of a cup, but if I were using whole milk, it only takes about a 1/2 cup, because buttermilk's much thicker. At least that's been my experience. So to just start with a 1/2 cup and then use more if you have to, or not. If you don't want to, then if it looks good, if you're using a different brand, you're just going by look really, and you're just looking for a really beautiful, thick batter, not too thin, but also not like a cookie dough. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is the end of the ending, the finish touch. You're going to take blackberries, and all you're going to do is you're going to take the blackberries and literally top them just like that. I don't put the blackberries through the batter simply because I don't like it, because what happens is this really turns out more like custard, not custard, but like a very dense pound cake situation. And if you were to stir the blackberries in, what I have found is that you don't get enough cakiness, because then the blackberries just kind of get in the way. So I don't do that. I just put the blackberries on the very top, and you get that beautiful sharpness from each little bite. And then what I do, which I really like, is I take a little bit of sugar, like a tablespoon, and I like to sprinkle it right on the top. It creates like a beautiful little crust, and it's delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in a 350 oven for around an hour, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Now, because we can't get enough of this beauty, I have another one ready. The one that I just made is in the oven. Can you see her? She's in there. She's beautiful, she's lovely, she's happy, but we have another one ready because we love it, and it's great with coffee, which I don't have right now, but I'm gonna make some. It's great with coffee. It's fantastic to bring to a neighbor. You see the crust as I was talking about? That little bit of sugar, it creates this like gorgeous golden lid that is just perfection. Ah, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Look at that. You see what I mean when I say it's really dense? It's beautifully dense. It's not real light and fluffy. It's dynamite. That's a really thick slice. She thick, but it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a bite. I don't typically like the ends. You know that. I like a center, but this is, I wanna try and get blackberry in my finger. You know, the lemon is so fantastic. It's sweet, but not too sweet. The blackberry gives you some tartness, which is great. 10 out of 10. When you make it, you'll know why we love it so much. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. Hope you're having a great summer, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.